Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the personality of God, Narayana, and unto the Narayana being, His mother Saraswati, the goddess of light, and Srila Bhakti, and Srila by regular attendance in classes on Bhagavatam, and by rendering the service of the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart shall move completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of God, with praise and transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Almost completely destroyed. So I was listening to a Radha Swami lecture recently, and he mentioned the phrase that, like, we just have to give up our anarthas. And I remember reading that and being like, it sounds easy enough, you know? I want to give up my envy, anger, pride, etc. And it's like I recently have had like this like image in my mind of like kind of like where I've been at spiritually. It's like those spiky pine cone balls? Like that, I don't know. If you're Floridian, you know. You're Southern. Like the spiky, what are they called? Gumballs. Okay. Sweet gum trees. What? Sand spurs. Yeah, I'm thinking of something a little different. It's like a pine cone ball. But yeah, yeah, it's like we're gripping on so hard to that we're not able to receive any. That's been a meditation recently. um, okay, so right now we are in the chapter called Devahuti's Lamentation, and we haven't had Bhagavatam class in over a week. So anyone knows what's going on right now? Want to give a summary? Bridget? Okay. Cinder? Can you use the mic for our online folks?
So Narada Muni prayed in meditation that he would like to find a suitable wife. And so Narada came to actually give his daughter to Narada Muni, and Devahuti was the daughter. And Devahuti served Narada Muni very diligently for many years, never asking for anything. She became emaciated and all of that. I don't know where exactly his point is, but eventually she makes a request that, before you leave, you must, like, well, I don't know. Yeah. Well, she asks if he can give her a child. But it's a girl. So like, she's like, well, but that doesn't help. So I want a boy. And then the Supreme Court got it actually appears.
Yeah, perfect. I I would say just in this specific chapter, just I reread it like before I get class, of course. And so yeah, David Huti is serving her husband faithfully in his hermitage. Um, and she does so at the expense of her bodily needs. She's performing austerity there. She gets all matted and dirty and doesn't take care of her body the way that she was used to as a princess. She used to have all the pampering, and but she was living this very simple life. And then after serving her husband really faithfully and devoutly, she like received his blessings in a lot of ways. And when we receive the blessings of a Vaishnava, that's the only way we can really have the qualification to see things spiritually. And so once she's almost like qualified, she has this spiritual understanding and realization due to her service of a great devotee. Then Kardama Muni, out of his yoga powers, creates this aerial palace, like just like that. Even he's kind of surprised by it. He's like, "Whoa, that's pretty cool." 7 stories. They're flying all over the place. They're going to like the most pleasure groves of the universe. Like you think you're enjoying at Disney World, like you're not. You're not. I'm telling you right now. If you read the Bhagavatam, it's mind blowing. Like the most sensual things ever. So specifically, I just freaking I love this chapter, and a reason is like she's emancipated and she's looking at this aerial mansion, and she's like, and Devahuti, being such a pure devotee, he can tell people's hearts. She doesn't have to be told things. He has such a great sensitivity and is able to speak to her heart. And so immediately he like can tell. He's like, you feel like you're unqualified to enter this mansion because you're emaciated and dirty. You should go to some holy lake. I think it's Bindus or I don't know, some holy lake and bathe. And when she goes there, she goes into the water and she swims to there's a there's like a house under the water kind of thing, and it's all these Gandharva girls, 1,000 of them, it is said, and they all like take care of her and regain her back to health. They're like combing her hair, giving her a shower, giving her something to eat. And you can just imagine it's like the most loving exchange ever. Like after being so um, by herself in that way, now she's really being taken care of. And it's a good example about how the devotees of the Lord always get taken care of in the end, even if we go through times of austerity. So this is where we're at. Devahuti is so she now just came out of the water with all of her damsel friends, Gandharvas, and maidservants actually. And so now that's where we're at. She is washed and she's shining. So maybe we can do the reading around the room. This is 323 and we're at 36. And then our focus verse will be 43. But
this age could see that Devahuti had washed herself clean and was shining forth as though no longer his former wife. She had regained her own original beauty as the daughter of a prince. Dressed in excellent robes, her charming dress duly girdled, she was waited upon by 1,000 Gandharva girls, O destroyer of the enemy. His fondness for her grew, and he placed her on the aerial niche.
So I just wanted to talk. That's what I'm here for. So when I was just meditating on these like glories of Devahuti, like she was pushing herself to the brink in service, and then she gets so pampered and taken care of. And I was just kind of thinking about Krishna House, because I was thinking about how we give up certain luxuries to live here. Like we all share washer and dryers, we share bathrooms. Um, it's not always the most material opulent thing in the world. We're not here to live super cozy, but we're here to gain the qualifications to be able to see the spiritual thread in every situation. I was thinking of the Bhagavad Gita verse 7:7, something like everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. And I was just thinking about how these austerities make us help make us qualified to be able to see the spiritual thread. So because she was qualified, then she was able to enjoy like the most enjoyable experience ever through all the heavenly planets. But if it would have been very bewildering if they didn't both have strong spiritual foundations. Yeah, and as devotees, we want to learn that how to use opulence properly. And I was thinking of something that Advaita Prabhu says a lot about cook but don't get cooked. You can live in the palace and you can have whatever material comforts you want, but you have to know the proprietor of everything. And this point of austerity making such great devotees, I one time asked someone the question, like, why are there so many devotees in Russia and Ukraine? Like, why did the movement take off so strongly there? Maybe like in the West, it didn't have it did, but like it's just really successful there. And does anyone have a thought why? They suffer. Yes. Yeah, it's an area that's in constant turmoil, the Balkans, and yeah, they have had harder lives. And with that, you are naturally less prone to be overly materialistic because you see it get stripped away from you, and it's not the essence. Okay, we'll continue.
Sage can see that it was seemingly attached to his beloved consort while served by the Gandharva girls. Sage did not lose his glory, which was mastery over himself. In the aerial mansion, Narada Muni with his consort shone as charmingly as the moon in the midst of the stars in the sky, which causes rows of lilies to open in ponds at night.
So they're so beautiful that he looks like the moon, and all the damsels look like the stars. And it is so effulgent that it acts like the moon and makes lilies open. And why is Karma Muni so shining? It's because he has complete mastery of the self. Okay, continue.
In that aerial mansion, he traveled through the pleasure valleys of Mount Meru, which were rendered all the more beautiful by cool, gentle, fragrant breezes that stimulated passion. In these valleys, the treasure of the gods, Kubera, surrounded by beautiful women and praised by the Siddhas, generally enjoys pleasure. Cardinal Muni also, surrounded by the beautiful damsels and his wife, went there and enjoyed for many, many years. Satisfied by his wife, he enjoyed in that aerial mansion not only on Mount Meru, but in different gardens known as Vaishrambaka, Surasana, Nandana, Pushpa Bhadraka, and Chaitravakya, and by the Manasa Saraswara Lake.
He traveled to that way through the various planets as the air passes uncontrolled in every direction, coursing through the air in that great and splendid aerial mansion, which could fly at his will. He surpassed even the demigods.
So in the purport, he mentioned Prabhupada mentions how demigods are kind of often like they're stuck to their planets, but Kardama Muni surpasses the prowess of the demigods, and he's able to travel all over. I was thinking about Aladdin. If you guys know like the song, someone sing Sierra. Come on, more.
I don't know.
I can show you the world, shiny, sparkling, splendid. Okay. You know, this is I was thinking about how everything has its origin in the Bhagavatam, and this is like feels like Aladdin to me. Like they're going into the most beautiful places in the universe in a mansion. And they're like, yeah, this is like their honeymoon, they're honeymooning. And yeah, it's really beautiful. Okay, we can continue.
What is difficult to achieve for determined men who have taken refuge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's lotus feet. The feet are the source of sacred rivers of Ganges, which put an end to the dangers of mundane life.
Okay, I also have a comment on this. Puts an end to the dangers of mundane life. So it's talking about like Kardama Muni, like what's difficult for him to achieve. He's taken full refuge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He can yogically travel to anywhere in the universe he wants. Like he has these great powers. And I was thinking like dangers of mundane life. I was thinking about this need that we all have for adventure. And how Krishna consciousness is like the ultimate adventure. It's a journey of self-discovery. It can take you all over the world. There's temples everywhere. Kunti went on a crazy traveling trip this summer. Devotees do it all the time. And so on a physical sense, there's quite an adventure. And on a spiritual, emotional sense, there's also quite an adventure. You know, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but sometimes chanting brings up things. Brings them up. And you're like, Krishna, I have this, I see it. Thank you so much for showing me it. And then it's just there. Because it's a gradual process, you know, it's a gradual process. It's not 6 months and I'm clean of anartha. It's like, no, it's Prabhupada, I've heard before 40 years. Which, I mean, I'll take that. I'll take that check. I'll try to cash that one in. We'll see how it goes. So 40 years is probably like sincere chanting. Gopal, how long have you chanted?
16 rounds.
Just over 40.
I was trying for like 16, at least 16 rounds. Last August.
Okay, last August was 40 years for Gopal. So
Arriba!
Haribo! You all know who to talk to. Don't sleep on Gopal. Yes, thank you, Gopal, for all your chanting and service. You're the backbone of this place. Okay, what did you say?
Very much a privilege.
Oh, he said it's very much a privilege. So yeah, maybe we can just pause. What's a self-discovery adventure you've been on while your time here at Krishna House? We'll take one or two. Nartan?
Yeah, I think like my whole time at Krishna House has been like like a real like self-discovery thing. And I think it really manifested for me through services. Like different services, I've seen like different like parts of me, like my strengths, my weaknesses. For example, my first service here was like program management, like official service, program management. Then like I did travel and Sankirtan Honda. Then I tried pioneering in Baltimore. And so like all of these different experiences, ashram leader, Ishan manager, like they all like showed me something new and within the ashram setting. So it was very, very interesting. I learned a lot about myself and how I can like show up for different devotees in different ways, different services.
Blake, what about you? What have you learned about yourself here?
I've learned a lot. One thing in particular I've learned is, how to just immerse myself in being in line, take the part, do the service, and just experience what that's like. I'm not elaborating very much.
No, I thank you. That was a lot. There's a lot there.
But
Yeah.
that is a lot. I've learned, I'm still unpacking a lot of things. I'm sure over time I'll realize more.
Yeah, Kalindi calls this place a little village. I think it's a really accurate description of Krishna House. And I think it's a really healthy break from what most people experience, which is they live in their room, they live in their car, and like there's a lot of isolation and separation, artificial separation. But we're very communal beings, it's like our nature. So yeah, Krishna House, for better or for worse, we get thrown in with a lot of people, and we learn how to navigate. We learn people skills, whether you by force, you actually have to survive. You have to talk about confrontation, you have to address when your needs are not getting met. And that can be hard for a lot of people. Hard. Okay, let us continue.
After knowing his wife, the globe of the universe and its different arrangements, full of many wonders, the great yogi, Narada Muni, turned to his holy man.
After coming back to his country, he divided himself into nine personalities just to give pleasure to the daughter of Manu, who was eager for sex life. In that way, he enjoyed the many years which passed just from a moment.
So I wanted to bring up the point that they go on this amazing honeymoon, and it's not till they come back to this hermitage that they finally decide to engage in intercourse. And I was just thinking that they bring up this example of like of how waiting is such an important thing when it comes to begetting children. I think is the vocabulary, begetting children. You know, people who rush into it. Oh, wait, I have a question. Someone give me the example, like the prime example of someone who maybe like rushed into begetting children. Anyone? Come on, prime example. Yeah, Bobby.
I guess you know what, with my parents.
No. Bobby, that's not what I was going for. That was not the prime example. Bobby, you were saying, I'm sure your parents were great. Come on, it's a prime. You guys will know. Yes, DT. Yeah. Look what happened. She rushed and she got 2 demon babies. Not just like any demon babies, like the demon babies, like of the universe. Whereas Devahuti and Narada Muni really they took their time more. You know, there's no rush. No rush. No rush to get married, no rush to have kids. Well, I mean, maybe not for everyone, actually. Anyway. But
Granted, they have a lot more years than us, though.
oh,
The spiritual plan. So
true.
that's something to think about as well.
Yeah, for online people, Mimi said they have a lot more years than us. And I think we'll see in another verse. They enjoyed for many, many years, which passed just like a moment. Yeah, time is relative, you know, time for many, many years for us is like a second for Brahma or whatever. So time is really relative. And yeah, they did have more time. Thank you. Okay, we'll keep charging on.
In that Ariel mentioned they were working in the company of her handsome husband situated on an excellent bed that increased sexual desires. Do not realize how much time was passed.
While the couple who eagerly longed for sexual pleasure were thus enjoying themselves by virtue of mystic powers, 100 autumns passed like a brief span of time.
Powerful, but overwhelming was the owner of the most part. They grant whatever one desires, knowing the spiritual soul who guarded first half of his time, dividing himself into 9 forms, who impregnated into 9 discharges.
Immediately afterward, on the same day, Devahuti gave birth to 9 female children, all charming in every limb and fragrant with the scent of the red rose flower.
So that's our last verse for the day. But this chapter of this title is Devahuti's Lamentation. And so far it's been just splendid. Like, you know, everything's been amazing. But does anyone have a guess as to what she'll lament? Continue.
I think what she brought up earlier is really about like wanting now that we've had children, that was her wish, and he's like, okay, fine. You know, but she, women in general, but especially in those days, were particularly taking care of black men. And so if she didn't have, like, her daughters would get married off, they would go away. She didn't have anyone to take care of her, so she didn't want to do that alone, so she asked for a male child.
Yeah. Not to spoil the next class for whoever gives it, but it's you know, every good thing comes to an end. You know, even her amazing stint with her husband comes to an end. And yeah, this is not like normal. This is mystic yogi stuff, like just dividing himself into 9 forms, like just, you know, beyond our understanding. But let's go to the focus verse of 43. Oh my gosh, I forgot to practice this. Wait. Prekshata. Nartana, can you do it?
Bhavashcharya Mahayogi.
Bhavascharya Mahayogi.
Swashramaya Nyavartata.
Swasramaya
Krishayita Bhugolam.
Krishayita Bhukulam.
Patnyaya Vanswa Samstaya.
Adnaya Yasasya.
Bhavashcharya Mahayogi.
Bhavascharya Mahayogi.
Swashramaya Nyavartata.
Swasramaya Nivartata. Bhavascharya Mahayogi. Swasramaya Nivartata. Krishayita Bhukulam. Adnaya Yasasya. Bhavascharya Mahayogi. Swasramaya Nivartata. Krishayita Bhukulam. Adnaya Yasasya. Bhavascharya Mahayogi. Swasramaya Nivartata. We'll do synonyms now. Krishaya. Sorry, y'all. Ruva of the universe. Golam, the globe. And to his wife. Yavan, as much. Swat, with its arrangements. Ashram, full of many wonders. Mahayogi, the great yogi Kridama. Swat Shamaya, to his own hermitage. Return. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. After showing his wife the globe of the universe and its different arrangements, full of many wonders, the great yogi Narada Muni returned to his own hermitage. Anyone want to read the purport? Sundari? Yeah.
All the planets are here described as Gova, round. Every planet is round, and each planet is a different shelter, just like islands in the great ocean. Planets are sometimes called Ripa or Varsha. This Earth planet is called Bharatvarsha because it was ruled by King Bharata. Another significant word used in this verse is Vahvashcharya, many wonderful things. This indicates that the different planets are distributed all over the universe in the 8 directions, and each and every one of them is wonderful in itself. Each planet has its particular climate influences and particular types of inhabitants and is completely equipped with everything, including the beauty of the seasons.
Okay, pause. So why does every planet have seasons? Anyone have a thought? Yeah, I was thinking of something Kavi said to me about he said it 2 days ago. He's like, if everyone was like me here, I'd go crazy. Or if any of us, if there's no diversity, there's no flavor. Diversity is the spice of life. If everyone was like Sundari, who knows? If, you know, or not, I'm not picking on you. Any of us, okay? I just saw you. It's not personal. I'm just spitballing here, okay? You know, if the world is full of Bridgets, yeah, who knows what will happen? Who knows? Who knows? And yeah, Krishna loves diversity. We have seasons for a reason, you know. it's good to have some different situations. Okay, continue.
Each planet has, each planet has its particular climate influences and particular types of inhabitants. Not completely put that yet. Okay, in the Brahma Samhita, it is similarly stated, Vibhuti Dhinam. On each and every planet, there are different opulences. It cannot be expected that one planet is exactly like another. By God's grace, by nature's law, each and every planet is made differently, and has different wonderful features. All such wonders were personally experienced by Narada Muni while he traveled with his wife. Yet he could return again to his humble hermitage. He showed to his princess wife that although he was living in the hermitage, he had the power to go everywhere and do anything by mystic yoga.
Yeah, that's a really cool point. I mean, when they first get together, they're living in this hermitage, like this cottage, by probably one of the holy rivers, and then Kardama Muni just like sometime later just shows that he can just like manifest any opulent situation he wants, but he chooses this hermitage. Why? Yeah, simple living, high thinking, simplicity. Um, Simplicity. Okay. Please continue, Sindri. Thank you.
That is the perfection of yoga. One cannot become a perfect yogi simply by showing some sitting postures, nor by such sitting postures or so-called meditation for one to become God, as is being advertised. Foolish persons are misled into believing that simply by some caricature of meditation and sitting postures, one will become God within 6 months. Here is the example of a perfect yogi. He could travel all over the universe. Similarly, there is a description of Narada Muni, who also traveled in space. Actually, the perfect yogi can do that. But even if one can travel all over the universe and show wonderful feats like Narada Muni, it cannot be compared to the supreme personality of Godhead, whose power and inconceivable energy can never be attained by any conditioned or liberated soul. By the actions of Narada Muni, we can understand that in spite of his immense mystic power, he remained a devotee of the Lord. That is the real position of every living man.
Yeah, in spite of his immense mystic power. That's cooking without being cooked. We can go back to the translation. After showing his wife the globe of the universe and its different arrangements, full of many wonders, the great yogi Kardama Muni returned to his own hermitage. Om Jnana Timirannasa Kiranjana Shalakaya Chakshu Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I offer my respects unto my wonderful gurus who have opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge, and I beg for their service life after life. So I realized that I forgot to do something in the beginning of this class. So there's a lot of you here, and I would appreciate, I need your guys' help and blessings to be able to say something that's worth anything. Janaki's here, and just for you guys who don't know, Janaki's an OG, and she's the one who really cultivated me, I would say. Like, I don't like that word that much because it sounds a little like groomy, but I think you're the one who really like taught me a lot about Krishna consciousness. And yeah, so to be here, Gopal's been training 40 years, and yeah, so many, in many ways, people are senior, even if they don't appear senior. Like, oh, I'm initiated. They're not. Whatever. There's always ways in which someone is senior to you. Whether it be through their life experience or just their like emotional maturity. I think it's always wise to come in humble, or else you might get burned. We know that offenses to devotees are the number one thing that really can stifle our spiritual life. Who here has offended a devotee? Someone want to say what that was like? Johnny, can you raise your hand? Who did you offend?
One of the question that you asked earlier about like some self-journey like thing that you went
Can you use the
on.
mic?
Okay. One thing that like the most distinctive thing that I learned in the ashram self-journey is that even if you're surrounded by people, doesn't matter if you like or like them or whatever, learn how to take the good. And that's like in the ashram, if you don't like someone, doesn't matter. Just take the good. Like appreciate the good and then eventually that quality will come to you. Learn that hard way.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Anyone else offended devotee? Anyone ever, Sundar?
No, I think whenever you offend a devotee, you yourself know it best because there's a certain stifling feeling. Actually, offending a devotee means to actually, having put blame on someone who is innocent. And, that disturbs your own mind and heart. So I guess, just trying to put remedy to it is best immediate thing to do.
Yeah, it's like if we shoot, it actually just bounces right back and hits us. It's like, or if you go for a shank, it just like it's like a portal and it just like comes into your back. Like an emotional shank. And yeah, I think when we're in this process of Krishna consciousness, things come up, anarthas come up, they become forefront. I think I've heard before that Radharani is so merciful that sometimes she'll just show everyone your anartha so that you can work on it. She'll just show it to everyone. Look at this. And we have to remind ourselves that we're in the fire here. We're at Krishna house, we're performing tapasya by living here, following the 4 regulations, chanting, a certain number of rounds that, is decided between us and our mentors. And we're in the fire. So when we're in the fire, we things get purified, and things will come up for yourself and other people. Krishna doesn't let anyone be stagnant. Something about Krishna is that he's ever fresh. So he's always going to put his devotees in situations where they're growing. And if you feel stagnant, that's probably, well, Bhakti Swami said this about growth, is that often we go to a new level and then we plateau for a little while as we're working through something, then we go again. So, it can sometimes feel like, why am I, I'm still angry or whatever, like all the time for no reason. It's like, because you're still working through something, and then you'll get over that hump and then on to the next anartha. And and things come back too. It's like you maybe scratch off a layer of it, but you didn't necessarily always get the root. And so it's a very gradual growth process. So we have like 4 minutes left. Maybe, does anyone have any comments, corrections, questions? No time?
Thank you so much for class. There's a lot of nice points. I like what you were saying earlier, like about how I forget exactly what the verse was, but it's like someone like a sage or sane person or someone with a mentor can just kind of like know how you're feeling. I resonated with that point because sometimes I'm just going through something, but it's like my mentor knows even more of like how to guide me and like they just understand me so well. So I resonate with that. Thank you for that. And then
wait, I have a comment on that. Just a thought is that yes, they're very intuitive, but also Krishna reveals what he wants to them, and sometimes Krishna will force you to learn how to communicate. That happens too.
Be transparent.
Yeah. Can I repeat that? She was talking about how, Narada Muni could understand Devahuti's heart without her having to say anything. And great sages do have that quality, but they only know what Krishna tells them. And sometimes Krishna will force us to learn how to communicate. He's not going to just make it, he's not going to helicopter mom us, We have to learn skills.
Yeah, and I guess my question has to do with, what you were just talking about, like, in the thick of anartha nivritti, and like when we're seeing all of these unwanted things in ourselves, and I mean, it can also be discouraging to actually see in other people too. It's like, oh my god, like this world sucks. Everything I'm doing, like, what helps you like regain that hope? It's like, okay, like this anartha, it'll go away. Like what helps you kind of like reset your mind?
Well, I think whenever we feel down in Krishna consciousness, something that's really helpful to do is look at how far we've come. Before Krishna consciousness, I never danced. I never sang. Like, I used to think that singing was for certain chosen people, and I wasn't one of them. We can look at how far we've come already and how we've grown through things. It may, every obstacle sometimes feels insurmountable, I can't do it, I can't do it. And then, Guru was just watching, like, come on. Like, it's like a toddler, like a toddler is like crying, like, oh, I can't, I can't like walk up the stair or whatever, I can't do it, I can't do it. And he's just, he's just waiting, he's just watching, like, I know you can. And similarly, we're spiritual toddlers. They're tantrums. Cindy?
I have a question. So, Narada Muni goes back after traveling with his wife to the hermitage. Why does he have to? Not that he has to, but why does he show all of this to them? What is he trying to teach her?
Well, yeah, that's a really great point. I think that gets more thoroughly answered tomorrow, because we get to see the crux of this story of like Devahuti lived the most opulent life imaginable. And all of a sudden she laments that, I haven't been focusing on personality of Godhead, but we'll get to that tomorrow. So I totally just spoiled it, but tomorrow. And I was also thinking that he also just wanted to spend time with her, Like, of course, when a sage operates, they hit on many levels. That's like when a really saintly person is giving class, they can speak to each person really strongly, because it's like they're operating just like Krishna. Like, he'll do an action and it pleases everyone somehow. And there's a certain mysticism there. And I think he was reciprocating with her service. He like, this was her desire, and to enjoy with him and love him and be together in this way. So, I think the real lesson comes tomorrow, but I also think on one level, he wanted to reciprocate with her. Yeah. Anyway, you have more thoughts? No, please.
Well, I thought, this is just my interpretation, well, not interpretation, my reflection is that he wants to show her what is real renunciation. Because just by renouncing the external elements of opulence doesn't mean we're actually renounced. Narada Muni is able to be equal, just not be disturbed either in opulence or distress. So that is real renunciation. And, I guess they would be needed to experience all of that to finally come to that level of experience and understanding to have that relationship.
Yeah, you actually I just thought that he's doing all this so that she's even qualified for what happens in the next chapter. A one-on-one conversation with God, Kapila. Spoilers, but Okay, we're getting close to time. Does anyone have any final? Kiara?
Class, I feel very enlightened by how you weave so many different points together. And I don't really have a form, but kind of what's sitting with me right now is like you mentioned a section house in like a little village. And I'm finding myself more this semester, like the more I allow myself to like fall in love with everything around me, like around me, the process, like, even myself. I don't know what it is. It's just like nice, like that's the point of everything, like, that love. So it can feel very scary. And like for myself, I often have a television. I don't want to feel this too strongly because of, everything that the attachments, but what comes after that. And it's like, okay, it's like a little pivot point. Like how can I let down the guard a little bit more, and then I don't know, just those little moments of surrender, which sort of swoops in, brings things together. Keep on walking, and on your points of like the uphills and stagnations. I don't know if this is true, but I read or I saw in pictures actually that butterflies can't. This might be so false. Butterflies might fly when it's raining because it like damages the wings. Is that true? I don't know. But I thought it was nice. Like sometimes you really have to take rest. Sometimes you can be a butterfly and just like take rest, be sheltered. Not always be like in action. So
Yeah, I thank you, Kiara. I think I don't want to be too much of a hypocrite, but yeah, we have to be able to alternate between go mode and rest mode. I think it's a balance that is very individual. Yeah, I'm still working on mine for sure. And I thank you for your point about how Krishna consciousness, the whole point of it is to fall in love with the people around us, the process, ourselves. That's really beautiful. Thank you, Kiara. Great point to end on. Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Mahaprasade Gaur.